where you're like, I'm very blank. I'm very New York. I'm very Chicago. I'm very, Arizona. You know what I mean? Because you're coming into a different culture, a different city with a different set of rules. So there's a moment where you're like, wow, I'm really from somewhere else.
I think every time I open my mouth, I realize I'm really from somewhere else, because it doesn't matter who I come in contact with here. I'm usually mimicked for how I talk. And it's just very interesting to me because this past weekend, my best friend flew out. Her name is Jada. She's from Jersey. And we were talking and like having a regular conversation, and I never one time thought the way we were speaking was different, but then every time I speak to somebody else, it's like, oh yeah, I'm from Jersey.
On that note though, so you're talking about being from South Central. Clearly USC is in South Central. But if you were to ask somebody about USC, that's not what you think of when you step on this campus. So what do you think about when you being from this area, right, and then going to a school that's very much a bubble? How does that ever come out to you in a way?
I mean, that was me my whole first semester of SC.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came here, it was a change because like I'm coming from, coming from my friends, we going up and down Crenshaw doing whatever we want to do. And also being that I didn't go to like Crenshaw or Dorsey, I went to a smaller charter school too, so that kind of like, I wouldn't say prepare me for SC, because then the transition was like, okay, I'm already used to this kind of thing. I'm already used to like a decent like education type thing, right? But it was definitely a change because then it's like, I live down the street and this has like, I don't recognize my own community, because it's like you have the village and then like you going around, it's like
with Sun Life and Honey.
Yeah, and it's like, it's different.
It's Popeyes and
Yeah, it's like, I can cross the street like, okay, I'm home, and then I come to USC, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, am I home? Or like, you have those thoughts, it's like, oh, like, damn, I'm really in a bubble, because then it's like every time I go home, it's like, oh, I go to school up the street, but it doesn't feel like I go to school up the street. It feels like I go to school, far away from home.
Question is, so you said, because you clearly left, and you said you came to LA kind of for that bigger and better lifestyle. Yeah. And I mean, you're at SC now. Congrats. But like, what was your thought process? Was it the same way of like, oh, SC? What did SC represent to you? And then, I mean, if it changed, how did that change once you got here?
Well, I didn't want to stay in state at all. I was trying to get out of Arizona as much as I could. I only applied to like one school, even though my dad works at a university in Arizona, so it would have been a lot cheaper to go there. But I just wanted to so like diversity was obviously one of my priorities. Like I was like not trying to be around only white people for the rest of my life, and like I knew I had always wanted to live in LA, and they also just have like a good, when it comes to diversity, I appreciate that they have like an overall sense of diversity, but they also have a lot of Ethiopians here, which I appreciate, and I have a lot of family here, which is good, because I wanted to have that community around me as well. But I think coming to USC was more so about like achieving my goals and like my dreams, and so like I felt like, especially in Arizona, that wasn't going to happen, because I'm more interested in like the media industry and like entertainment industry and stuff like that, and so going to LA was obviously amazing for that. Yeah, and like the education here is obviously amazing too. Like I was initially in Annenberg, so Annenberg was like the #2 journalism school in the country, so I think that's mainly what I wanted. But I think here, once I actually got here, it's just been like a great place for growth, like personal growth. Like I've just been experiencing so many things that I didn't experience in Arizona. Like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, just like I feel like I'm a completely different person now, because like all of the stuff that I've experienced throughout my first year of college, and like living in a city that has more to offer than Tucson did, just like opens up my windows, allows me to like connect with different people. So yeah, it's been a good place for growth.
I like it. I like it. How about Chicago? Coming out here, what was the thought process when you decided to attend SC?
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't want to come here, but eventually I was like, you know what? I think that, especially with like you said, the education being really great, and especially for what I want to do, like performance, I was like, this will be a good spot for me. But yeah, I got out here and immediately there was just this culture shock. I don't know if you experienced it in any way. Did you?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. But Chicago is just more of a, I'm not going to say, I don't know, but like when you're in Chicago, there's just a sense of community, right? And there's this sense of home, obviously, because we're from there and you're used to it. But I really just can't explain it, but it's really just like you step foot in Chicago and you know that people have your back, that people are there supporting you. Obviously, stereotypes don't convey that same message, but yeah, I got out here and there was just and I think it was mainly because I didn't know anybody out here, that I really just felt isolated until I found out that I have a god cousin out here. But yeah, it's very different, and every day I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning how to be independent more, but I think LA is really just teaching me about, how do I word this? Teaching me about, there was something that a girl said in a meeting the other day. She said, thirst over hunger.
Thirst over hunger?
Yeah. I'm learning a lot about that.
What is that? What
You
does
mean
that mean?
hunger over thirst?
Or, hunger over thirst. Hunger over thirst.
I was like, wait a second.
Like
Yeah.
you'd rather be hungry than thirsty.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you explain that to me?
So specifically, like, in the work and, like, once you graduate, like, being outside of a, like, supportive educational system, really thinking about trying to grind for yourself versus being thirsty and just trying to be like,
Oh,
oh
like
my god, I'm in
desperate?
LA and desperate. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you keep the culture of your city with you, right? So if you come, for example, like I said, I come from Carson, and I kind of carry that family aspect with me. A lot of my family's from that area, so for me, whenever I go somewhere, or whenever there's Anaya also comes here and she's from Carson, we're like, Delamo, that's the homie, we're from the same place, and there's comfort in that. So how do you, when you came to the city or when you came to the school, how do you keep the culture of your city alive? Is it with people? Is it with do you go and search for Chicago pizza places? Or, do you hang out, like you were talking about the people here as well, but, how do you keep your culture alive in a city that is a little different from where you came from, maybe your hometown?
For me, the biggest thing that I missed about Chicago right away was the food. So I remember I paid like $80 to ship out some deep dish pizza from Chicago.
Oh my god.
$80.
And I got my sister to ship me out some mild sauce, like a big gallon of it. Anyone from Chicago, y'all know about mild sauce. Yeah, that's really it. Like, I'm hungry all the time. I can't even lie.
This is really about the food for you?
Yeah, the food is the biggest thing. And I have all my Bulls hats, like, right above my bed, so every time I wake up, it's like the first thing I see.
Gotcha. Michael, how do you carry Jersey?
I also felt like the food was a big issue for me. You guys are diverse here, but where I'm from,
All the good food is in the places that you don't want to,
It's okay, JR. It's okay. It's okay.
We're getting triggered.
No, it's okay.
I'm about to say the issue. I know that the culture here is very Mexican based. Where I'm from, we have a lot of Caribbean people. So there's like no Caribbean food here. Jamaican, Dominican, Haitian, Cuban, Colombian, all that. Like
Everybody.
I have mad Jamaican food places where I'm from in my town. Go over to the next town, you get all the Colombian food. Go over to the next town, you get all the Dominican food. Like, and that's in a 5-minute radius. That's how close everything is.
Right.
Also on top of that, my mother's food, she's a chef, so you always miss your mom's cooking.
Right.
Like it's bomb. Bro, like, and I can't cook, so it's upsetting.
Oh, so
It's
you
upsetting
really,
me and my
miss
homegirl. But yeah, I really miss her food.
So you
I
can't
know
get
that's
some
right
food.
before
Where can you go?
summer. You can't, where you go? right before the summer, like the summer right before I came back sophomore year, because I'm a sophomore, I really was like, Mommy, you gotta teach me like all your recipes. And my mom's not even a recipe person. Like she doesn't measure a thing. So that upsets me as well. because
No,
It's
so
just
that's
like,
my mom.
it's really
yeah.
just my
Until the
eyes.
ancestors say stop.
She hears it in her soul. So that's also a thing. I feel like I keep Jersey alive just in how I carry myself. We are identifiable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in the way I speak, in the way that in the food that I like, I guess that could also go with it. But even in just music, like it's very different. I'm not even gonna come for y'all right now, but
It's fine. Our food is trash.
I'm not even talking
Okay.
about food.
No,
I'm not even talking about food. The music
Hispanic
He's talking about
here,
music.
I'm gonna honestly
music.
say,
Oh my god.
not my favorite.
Well, the
You said
music.
what?
Yeah.
It's not my
And I
favorite.
think that's a very interesting point, right? So there was
Mm.
artists, for example, like there was like A Boogie is big on the East Coast, but we don't listen.
We don't even listen.
We don't listen to A Boogie at all.
Oh.
Somebody played it. I was like, who is
Who's
this?
that?
Yeah.
So like it's not an LA thing. So I mean that's another thing that I guess you could also carry culturally with you, because I mean you go to parties and you're like, what are they? Why are they playing so
Yeah.
much YG?
Bless the bottom.
Who is that?
Bless
Yeah,
the
like,
bottom.
what is that?
That's such a LA.
That's an LA thing.
Rialto, San Bernardino, like that's
That's
where
funny.
that's
What
where
you
the
saying, Justin? Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying that was like the biggest shock for me. Like when I
Yeah,
first
the
went
party-
to parties,
Especially as a
like
musician.
all the
Culture.
music sounds the same. It's like you know
On
what
top
I mean?
of that,
So-
like since our influences are really deep in Caribbean music, y'all don't play none of that. Like not Caribbean music, but Caribbean people. Yeah, y'all don't play no type of no one's whining. I don't hear.
because that community is so small too, as like
So like the party culture is just different because
Right.
everybody's dancing back home. I come to a party here, everybody's standing around.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
that's
No,
I
it's
I
always see
could
that from
say-
people from New York. That's funny.
Or then everybody
Yeah,
dance.
like the Caribbean part specifically, and like the dance.
Yeah, there's a lot of influences
Yeah.
there.
Oh wow, is that the same thing in Chicago? Everybody dances when you're over there.
I feel like at Chicago parties, the girls are dancing
Yeah.
and the guys are standing around. And here it's like flipped. It's kind of weird. Like guys are jumping around doing this weird little
yeah, I
bouncy
get
thing.
that.
Like this thing with the arms. I don't
Yes.
know what that is.
Or what the
Yeah, they do
yeah,
that.
like what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
It's like guys are dancing here. And it's weird.
But one thing I would say to defend ourselves
As we get attacked
is
for our city.
that our high school parties were way, I would say for my experiences in terms of college parties, were way better because it's like, well, not even better. I would just say it was way wilder than what it was because then literally the thing was, you had a party in Upland, you get like 5 or 6 of your homies say, who got the car? And not, we're like bouncing. It's like not, because it's not safe. It's not usually not safe to go have a party on Slauson or wherever people are. So we usually be like, okay, if there's a venue or like a studio that somebody's having it, all right, cool, we having it there. Or if it's like a San Bernardino party or like when we
Y'all
out
drove
there.
all the way to San Bernardino.
Oh, plenty of times. And it's all been worth it. All of them been
I'ma
worth
just
it.
have to
That's
believe
one thing I can get. If I can get
How far is
Upland, San Bernardino,
How far is
anybody,
San Bernardino?
like, if you speeding, I say 30 minutes. If you
Yeah,
go on
see-
the speed limit, I'll say like,
An hour.
You going twice
Yeah.
the speed limit?
I mean, you could at least push like
80.
75, 80 out there.
Let me.
without getting
Well, that's
caught.
true because there's nobody on the freeway.
Yeah,
That's how
the
y'all trying to go.
CHP don't really even be on there.
I'm gonna say I don't go outside, so I don't know. I've only been to a couple USC parties in general, and the parties that I went to because the high school I went to was very white parties, right?
Okay.
And so I don't. So even the party culture of coming here was very
It's
much
very
based on-
segregated too. So you have this party culture, this party culture, this party
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
So like now it's
Yeah.
like you're transitioning too. So it's like it's not just
I
one
also
thing as
feel
well.
like it's interesting that the only people that really throw parties at USC are from here, so that's why like I feel like nothing's changed.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
that people from, I don't even know how y'all party in Chicago, but I wish that people from Jersey or New York do parties, because
Yeah.
it would go up. So I think that this place has mellowed me out because I don't need to always be on 10, and you know, if somebody does push me, I don't have to like curse them out. It's just like it's different.
Right.
And
This is an interesting point. So I was, of course, as a theater major, sometimes you get roles that are very much.
theater major.
Yes, there's 3 of us sitting over here.
Hey.
Sometimes you have to play characters that are not from where you were from.
Yeah.
And so I had to play a New Yorker on a bus, right? And so I took my time and I sat down, and my teacher, who's from the East Coast, was like, "Do that again." And I said, "What are you talking about?"
You took your time and you.
No, but I was just walking, right? I was just
Yeah.
walking. I looked. I
It
was,
feel like you were taking your
no,
time.
it didn't feel like I was taking my time, right? I was supposed to look at where the trains were going, and I was supposed to sit down. She's like, "Have you ever been on a New York train?" And I was like, "No." She said, "I can tell. Do it again." And so I did it. She's like, "You're taking so long." And she's like, "What are you talking?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm trying to go as fast as I can."
Yeah.
She's like, "Listen, New York is having anxiety, and then having more anxiety when people don't have anxiety like you have anxiety."
It's
And I
just
said,
like, why are you
"Oh."
taking your time? Like, it's always like we have somewhere to go. Like, come on.
Well, see, but I'm never, even when people from out here have somewhere to go, it's kind of
It's
like,
just
well, when
like-
we get there is when we get there.
Unless
You
it's
know?
like a specific time we gotta be there. It's like 5 o'clock. Like,
No,
you
like on the
can't-
dot,
You
then it's
can't
kinda
get
like-
there. You can't get in after 5. But if it's
My
like a
father
soft, like
voice is echoing in my head right now, and he's always like, walk with a purpose, walk with a purpose. Like, that's how I was raised. So it's like, you need to go where you need to go right now.
No, I have the standard
And get
deviation
there.
of 20 minutes between us.
and then if we're
Yeah.
on our way and if we see it's like 20, we're 20 minutes late. We're just like, all right, cool. I guess we're
No,
gonna be
if you're
40
late,
minutes
you're
late.
late.
That's
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't-
cool.
you know.
It's not gonna make a
I've never
difference.
outside the
Right.
house unless I have somewhere to be.
You don't,
like,
you said what, Nia? Sorry.
Like, I never just leave or I'm going somewhere unless I have somewhere to be. Like, there's always a specific destination. Like my mom was always like, walk with a purpose. Like, literally, I got out here.
I never
and-
heard
You
that.
never heard
Y'all
of
never
that?
heard walk with the
Walk
purpose?
with a purpose.
Nah. Wow, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
That says a lot.
Y'all.
I mean, if our parents want us to go faster, it would just.
Yeah, they would say, like, let's
But, like,
go.
Let's
Does
go.
that have to do with? Well, I don't know about Jersey, but like, actually, I don't know about Chicago either. But like in Arizona, people just drive everywhere, so like walking with a purpose wouldn't really mean anything. But like in like
That's
cities
true.
where you're like
Yeah.
walking,
Yeah,
does that
we do
matter?
have
Right.
more. We do have. See, I just got my driver's license. I'm 19 years
Oh,
old.
no, see, like, LA was like, one
Like,
of the,
no.
the hubs for
You,
cars.
We
we get that
literally-
like 16.
Walks everywhere, took public transportation,
Yeah,
and a
see,
lot of
that's-
my friends, just like me, are just now getting their license. Like, yes, you are walking with a purpose because you're
Yeah.
literally walking.
Yeah.
Well, that might be it then, because like LA, like I said, was the hub of cars. And I mean, I don't know if this is like in
Nobody
Tucson.
walks in Tucson.
We don't walk anywhere, so we have to
always-
walk.
And then with friend groups, you always have that one person who has a car. It's like you always have somebody that's like 2 years
Yeah,
older than you who's
that's
like, all right,
honestly
you can drive you.
Yeah.
So then I like,
Interesting.
so like when I had the car, I was the designated driver for like another year until everybody else started to get their driver's license.
Yeah, and everybody
because it's
gets
like-
it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we never time stuff as we're walking anywhere
Yeah.
or how long it's going to take to walk there. We time stuff as when I get to the car, how long is the car
Car
ride
ride.
going to take?
Yeah.
First of all, do you plan to go back to your hometown? And do you plan to give back to your hometown in any way? Or is it just going to be the place where you grew up?
That is an interesting question. I know that I'm here for my career in LA. I don't want to stay here. Do I want to go back to Jersey? I don't know. Giving back, I'm very big on education. I'm also very big on like dismantling the type of education we have right now because I know like my baby cousins are going through the same education system that I went through and it's detrimental to them
I don't want to get into the topic of like, you know, sitting down for like 8 hours a day, but you know, that's why kids are getting diagnosed with ADHD. Like kids should be moving around. So I feel like if I were to go back and help, it would be that dismantling. Like I make my own school, like LeBron did. Cool. Yeah.
For me, I want to build my studio in Carson. If I would have, when
Yeah.
I have.
When, period.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
speaking
in
of
Carson.
resistance.
But in Carson.
Yeah, but in Carson, and then you know, and build a school from. Well, this is just me personally. Build a school for my brother who has autism, basically, and you know, whatever. Smart dude, one of the smartest dudes I know. He's at Whittier right now. But like that's one of the things that is really important to me. Is I love Carson, man. I would go back. I probably will go back and be there, and not necessarily live in Hollywood and all these other places. So if when y'all see a regular neighborhood and then a big old house and then a regular, that's my house. Is what it is. I'm so serious, bro. That was a real one. Okay, no, but I'm you know, I want to go back. So for me, it would be once you, like you said, putting the school there and putting my studio there to make some movies.
For me, I plan on like building my career here since I want to go into like music industry. Like the music industry isn't that big in Chicago. Like while the music scene is popping, like the industry itself is like here in Nashville, but I don't want to live in Tennessee. So
It's actually a good place. My godmom moved there. It's really nice.
Really?
I used to go and
The
visit
best
her
is
every
Nashville.
summer, and Nashville is a really nice place. And her new house, her retirement home, it looks bomb.
That's true. You know, if you want to talk about money, living in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, it's cost you left leg.
I'm thinking more about going to Atlanta probably. Maybe I'm gonna settle down in
That's
Atlanta.
all
That's my
people do.
thing. That's
Tyler
my.
Perry Studios.
that's what all black people do.
Period. And I'll
I
act
know.
right there, being blackity black.
I know for a fact.
Where you be
I
big?
don't.
Atlanta. I
Yeah.
don't understand why Atlanta's so
Mhm.
cheap. Like I feel like it doesn't.
Atlanta
make sense.
is
It's because it has so much land.
Yeah, it's just a lot of.
It's a lot of land.
Now I hope that
Atlanta's
it's
huge.
not like, you know, it becomes another LA. I hope it doesn't do
Like-
that.
Yeah, that's probably coming.
Where did you want to go to? Sorry, Atlanta, JR.
Oh,
Or-
I mean, are you?
Oh,
are
Justin
you
will be
good?
done.
Oh. No, so basically,
No,
Oh yeah.
so my plan is like once I get rich, cause I'm gonna be like rich one day. I'm gonna have a
Speakers.
speak it.
I'm gonna have a winter house in LA and a summer house back home in Chicago, cause I can't do the winters there anymore. After being here in November, it's nice. But anyway,
This is global warming. Is what this
Yeah,
is.
that's.
No, keep going.
I'm a plan to like put a lot of money back into like the arts programs,
Mm-hmm.
into like a lot of schools on the south side in particular, because like when they did start pulling funding and closing down a lot of schools, like they took the arts programs first, and like a lot of research has shown that like arts programs in schools like has higher achievement for those students. So that's like one big thing I want to stress, like once I do make it and help give back.
I think what I'd like thinking about what I want to do after I graduate. I think I see myself short term here. Like Los Angeles is where I'm gonna be at because I want to go into the entertainment industry. I want to get into.
Really? What?
I think I want to get into like working for like a media firm, so like for like Complex or Uninterrupted or you know so on that side. But when I think about long term, I think the biggest thing is that I don't want to raise my kids in LA in per se. If that means me living outside of LA, then yes. But like, I think
Suburbs.
yeah, I think too.
You'll be in
If
Carson
I
and
think
Jackson.
about like just different places and just wealth in general and what I can get for my money, Atlanta seems like a really good place to like settle down. Have Texas too, but
Yeah.
Texas you dealing with the like South.
Yeah.
The same thing with Atlanta too. Atlanta is probably still there too, but I feel like the black community
No,
in Atlanta.
I grew up in Atlanta. Wow, my stomach just growled. I grew up in Atlanta,
No, mom was.
and I had like the best childhood there. It
And
was
that's what I want to
amazing.
provide for my kid. I don't want my mom did the best that she could to shelter me from anything that that she didn't want me to experience while living in LA. But I just want to eliminate that whole sheltering process for my
Yeah.
kids, and that
We
way
were like
I don't.
running wild.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to tell my kids to be careful when walking home, or like my mom had to literally like pop up on me spontaneously coming home just to make sure I'm good walking home. Like, and like, you know, where we lived at in high school wasn't even like the worst part of Inglewood, but then I still had to walk through those parts kind of thing. And you know, for when I think about when I have a family, it's like I just want to be able to, you know, provide everything that I dream of providing for my family. And in terms of giving back, this doesn't mean me leaving my community means, oh, I'm not gonna give back. What I truly want to do is start a nonprofit, and start a nonprofit for kids that come from single parent households, because I come from a place of being from a single parent household. It's so many aspects of life that you have to navigate, being that I didn't do it without another parent being there, especially without having a father. Like, those are, you know, being that I went through those things, and especially going through those things in South Central, it's like, if I didn't have the people that I had growing up, if I didn't have my uncle, I didn't have my cousins, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the same mindset. I wouldn't be, you know, as successful as I would be. And if I can provide as I am, if I can provide those resources to kids that look like me, and you know, and being that, then my goal is fulfilled. My reason why I come to this institution is fulfilled. Like, the reason, like when I think about why I'm here, I'm only here because for my kids, and what I can do for future generations of, you know, how you would describe as Los Angelians? Angelinos. There we go.
Okay.
Why am I waiting? I think about you all the time. Maybe I'm selfish, but you've been